Welcome to our webinar today. My name is Hussein Daami. I am the UK Sales and Business Development Director for Related Digital. Firstly, I would like to thank you for taking the time to be with us today, and I hope you, your friends and family are safe and sound. In today's webinar, we will have Cameron Smith. He is the head of e-commerce at AdPeople. Cameron oversees the success of 250 e-retailers across Facebook, Amazon, and Google Ads. AdPeople specializes in delivering scalable digital marketing to SMEs. So today will give us a sneak peek into enabling growth in your Google Ads account. And finally, I'll take over to introduce Related Digital and how we help e-commerce and retail clients with their customer retention and customer interaction.
Yes, so about the macro side of what's happening in the wider environment, what I wanted to do is take and guide you through what we're looking at for our individual clients, how we should be generically structuring an account, and then how we then adapt that per client and per performance targets and KPIs, and then looking at how COVID has had an impact and how that translates into the strategy that we've been using. So if we can just go to the next slide, and then the one after that, that's just a title. So when we were first looking into this and when we first had the lockdown, we weren't expecting the sort of performance, or I don't think anyone could really have predicted the sort of performance that we'd be looking at for, especially for May and June. I think it took a bit of time for people to adapt and recover. Remember, there was lots of panic shopping in April as well. But once that settled down, we saw a very strong spike through a lot of the industries that we work with. So one of the definitely ones that were growing was homewares, was sofa clients, furniture, people wanting to do a lot of DIY, and that trend has really continued. Flowing was tending to be lighting. Now, it was an unusual time for lighting to have a boom as well. Usually with our lighting clients, we see a bit of a dip during summer because everyone's focusing on their outside, and external doing up their garden, things like that. So gardening tools did very, very well during that period as well. But we would expect lighting to have their bulk of sales going into Q3, going into Q4. So that was an interesting one. So being a really strong 2020 for lighting. And then ones that are slowing that particularly aren't fantastic unless you've really nailed the website anyway, to be using Google Ads to launch these sorts of things like generic clothing, trying to start your own clothing brand, building a website, then going straight for PPC might not be the best option, but doing things like YouTube campaigns, social media, those are very good solutions as well. But starting to pick up. Hampers, party supplies as well. But it's about how clients also adapted this. We did have one party supplies client who ended up, instead of just doing one big bulk delivery of, let's say, 20 party hats and 20 things for a party of 20, one person could order and then send 20 different things out. So that was really catering for the Zoom party meetings that were really popular at the start of lockdown. But across all of this, the fundamental question is, are you maintaining a stable return on ad spend? Are you maintaining a ROAS that is making you profit and is there for sustainability? If we can go on to the next slide, the two things, that is the first question that we ask. So is ROAS target being achieved? If so, push more into your higher funnel traffic, make sure that your converting campaigns aren't limited by budget and expanding on that. Make sure that your star product lines are broken out into new campaigns and giving their own budget and enabled for growth. It's all about increasing budgets in the right places. It's not to get growth out of a Google Ads account. It's not about starting with 2 campaigns and then just putting more and more budget into those campaigns. It's about breaking it out, and that's sort of what we come on to a little bit later in the presentation. And then developing remarketing campaigns through display and video as well. So really building on that brand awareness, integrating that into what you're doing with organic and social is very, very strong. If your target ROAS is not being achieved, then we've got some troubleshooting to do. Make sure that your feed quality of your shopping feed is strong. and there's lots of simple guides online, and if you get in touch, then I can send you a few simple guides on improving your feed quality through a supplementary feed to make sure that Google Shopping has enough data to show and match keywords to your products. Check your quality score on your text ads and optimize landing pages. Google's really intuitive with the information that you get access to, especially with text campaigns, and analyzing your quality score. So that's made up of landing page quality, ad relevance, and expected click-through rate. So that's why we always want to start with a little bit higher cost per click as well to get that click-through rate up. But it will tell you whether you're above average, below average, or average. The ones that you're below average are just an easy way to work on. You find that in the Google Ads platform. Pullback bids on lower margin or lower AOV products. Usually, unless there's a significant website issue or a significant issue across all of the products, you will still have some level of success with a few product ranges, and it would just be other products that are pulling your averages down. So trimming it back, not focusing on pushing everything. The thing that I always tell clients is we need to be data and demand led. So we need to push the products that the consumers are clicking on and buying, not just trying to push all of your stock and trying to push stock ranges that aren't getting traction through Google Ads, because that's just going to be an inefficient spend. And that was let the data guide you and make sure you're price competitive. This is the number one thing we do for clients straight away, is if there's some troubleshooting to be done, making sure that there's nothing broken on the website and making sure they're price competitive are usually the two things that are holding them back. Because the internet is, it's different. If you're just walking into a shop, you can either buy it from that shop or you don't get the product. With the internet and with Google Shopping, they're showing an entire catalog of options to these clients that are just at their fingertips. So making sure your product offering is on point is definitely important. If we just move on to the next slide. And this just talks a bit more about the mindset that we have ad people as well. There are some agencies that will just try and constantly, incrementally and very slowly build up return on investment for the same budget. So one month you spend £1,000 in a month and you make £5,000 back. The next month they might try and spend the £1,000 a month and make £5,100 back, and then try to grow it that way. That's not the mindset that really you're going to see the growth that SMEs should be expecting from using Google Ads and from investing in PPC. So that's the bad mindset, thinking, right, I'm going into this year, I'm going into this period, I've got £40,000 to spend this year, that's £3,000 a month, let's just put that, and at the end of the year, I'm going to review what went well. Where what you really should be doing, or how any agency really should be helping you, is understanding a ROAS target. So if you can compare this to your break-even point, if you break even at 50, if you've got 50% gross profit margin, you break even at 200% return on ad spend. For every pound you spend, you need to get £2 back. Right, great. So the target would then be looking at 400 or 500%. Yeah, happy to go on to the next slide. And this just shows those two mindsets and how they can actually generate you more revenue, more profit. So the mindset one, ROAS maximization, increase stable media spend. We'll try and maintain an average of 750% a quarter. Black Friday is going to be up, summer might be down, but that's the general insight, which isn't dynamic and isn't really producing actual growth. Where if you're looking at a sustainable growth model, now what I've done here is lowered the ROAS from 750% to 600% every time we increase the budget by £2,500 a quarter. That is a dramatic decrease as well. We wouldn't expect that level of decrease if we could maintain 750%. So that would be more stable, but I wanted to show that. And if you have a look at that the table there, shows that your revenue with your first one makes you 300,000. The revenue with your second one, the sustainable growth model, makes you 365,000 in revenue. Yes, your media spend up. Yes, your cost of goods up, but your profit is also up. And for SMEs, there's a lot of value in having more clients coming in as well, more customers that you then integrate your email marketing into, and your social media. They get captured by remarketing as well. So, and you're building up a loyal customer base. There's been so many times when I've spoken to clients, they say, we absolutely can't do, we need cost of goods, we need advertising costs to be 5% of whatever we sell. And if we're under that, then we're not making money. But they have a 50% gross profit margin. So that is just a very short-sighted non-growth way of looking at it, and I think it's just because they wanted to buy a new car, to be honest. But let's move on to the next slide. And this is what we've talked about, how that actually translates into a Google Ads campaign and Google Ads account. So if we move on, smart shopping. This smart shopping came out in early 2018. Carl was probably going to correct me there, but around that time. And since then, it's really developed. So this is one of Google's Google AI really important bit of kit. And what we've seen is 22% increase in return on investment, 10% plus reduction in cost per clicks, and site quality increases as well because you're getting more people coming back to the site. So what smart shopping does is it takes your normal shopping campaign and it integrates remarketing into it. So what that means is it's not just your shopping ads showing on the generic search pages or the search results pages on Google, but it also integrates display remarketing, YouTube remarketing, and Gmail remarketing all into this one campaign. So it's very effective. At first, we start these with clients to usually just do one big one, see how that works. And then as you get through these different levels, that is when you're breaking out campaigns to give them their own budget. Let's say you've got 10 product ranges, 2 do really well within this smart shopping campaign, right? Let's be moving out, instead of moving out the top ones, you will want to move out the bottom ones because that will allow that smart shopping campaign that's already built up the data to continue to serve really well, because there's always with shopping campaigns there's a learning period. And then if you really want to go the expert level, it's about integrating text campaigns and making sure that you're filling out your funnel. I could probably talk for about 2 hours about funnels, but I'm not going to do that. But there's lots of good advice online and lots of good advice, articles that we share with clients and things like that on funneling. Next slide. So we've got smart shopping to automate the shopping campaigns and the product feed side of it. Now with text campaign automation, there's a little bit of a difference. You get a few more options. And these are just a few examples of the options that Google can deliver. So if you're going for maximized conversions, that's a good one if you've got all of your products at the same price, or you've just got 3 or 4 products, because that is just going to be driving you as many conversions as possible and drive a higher volume of sales. If you've got 5,000 products, what maximized conversions could possibly do is just drive conversions for your lower value products, because they're seeing a sale for your £50 product the same value as your sort of £2,000 product. So there's a difference there. But that again works very well if you're breaking out your campaigns and getting very micro targeting on what you want to target. And the same with target CPA, increase in conversions. All of these have increases in conversions compared to manual CPC and max clicks and all of that. And so definitely be using these sorts of things. Target CPA, get similar problems to maximize conversion. If you've got a big range, then it might only just try and be pushing the smaller ones. That's where you break it out. Target ROAS, this is the one that we use for most of our text campaigns, especially with the clients that have a larger range or the more generic text campaigns for sure. You get a larger increase in conversions and you're maintaining a ROAS. So you're saying to Google, here's £50 a day, go make sure that I can maintain 300%. If that starts to perform and it starts saying, right, we've got a bit more budget to play with, then you can always push that. Next slide. So I wanted to take you into just a quick case study of what we've done for one of our clients. So this is actually a client that I managed as well when they came on board. So they came on board Q2 of 2019, and they were a big furniture client. I think they were spending around sort of £5,000 a month on Google Ads already, but we wanted to see that grow because we knew their product was right, because they were already selling lots through Amazon, making sort of £200,000 a month through Amazon, similar amounts through eBay, but their website revenue was just flatlining at £30,000 to £40,000 a month, and they weren't sure why. So phase 1, optimizing the product feed, definitely very important part, making sure that analyzing what their current Google Ads campaigns were and breaking that out and being strategic with that. and then setting up different text campaigns to make sure it funnels in. If you actually want to go to the next slide, it breaks down the campaigns that we built, or just a sample of the campaigns that we built. So it's sort of an inverse strategy with shopping campaigns and text campaigns. With smart shopping, you want to go very broad at the start and then filter downwards. With text campaigns, you want to go very niche at the start and focus on the very specific keywords, and then filter outwards and get broader. And that's because there's a click on shopping on a shopping product, there's more of an intent to buy than there is on a text campaign. So you want to be specific with that. And then the next slide just shows the results that that strategy is delivered. And this is including a spike in demand because of COVID. But this just compares May 1st to July 31st, 2020 to 2019. And we know that they would have seen a generic really increase anyway of somewhere between 100 and 150%, because their direct went up 100%, organic went up 150%. But what we did with paid is, by building out that strategy, it has meant that we have a much more sustainable way to be increasing the budgets. And so when we want to enable growth, and when they say, right, we know we can spend £5,000 and make back £40,000, how do we spend £10,000 and make back £80,000? How do we spend £20,000 and make back £160,000? And it's about maintaining that ROAS as you grow. So the results here just speak for themselves, but just pop back a sec for me. So May last year, from that time period over 3 months, they spent £10,000 over 3 months. There were only 210 sales, and that made them £40,000. Over this period, we've spent £40,000 on ads, but generated £351,000 in revenue. So their ROAS has gone up, their spend has gone up, and lots of good stuff going on here. We've also got a case study on Google, but I'm sure Hussein will share the slides and you can access that through that link. Next slide. This is just a few quick tips. So metrics that we would look at, and metrics that you should definitely know about. The basic ones are search impression share, making sure you're understanding what that means. If it's limited by budget and you're happy with ROAS, get that budget going. I mean, that's a really good sign. And look over a larger time period as well. If you've already got a smaller budget, look over 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, even if you're on quite a micro budget. If your impression share is limited by rank, improve quality score, look at your feed quality. And if your ROAS is okay, you might want to just boost up those bids a little bit and see how that works. Don't go too crazy with increasing budgets. Don't think, oh, my campaign's getting me 1,000% on £10 a day, I'm going to stick that to £200 a day and force Google to try and spend that. That's going to cause a big jolt, and this is where the sustainable growth comes in. And don't change bidding strategies too regularly. I mean, and don't set them extreme targets. Find out what they can do and slowly increase them up. And if we just go to the next slide, then that is some details for our partnerships department, where you can get a free consultation. Everything we do, we've got products for newer e-commerce businesses, for older e-commerce businesses, or more sustained ones. And we offer trials as well to make sure that we're not just locking you into any contracts or anything like that. It's absolutely not what we're about. But yeah, Hussein, that's all my parts, and I'll take any questions at the end if that's all right.
Thank you, Cam, for taking the time and doing those slides. They were very insightful. I'm sure a lot of the attendees agree with that. So it's my turn to present to you Related Digital. We had Cam introducing us to ad people and how things are working there. And then we have this Related Digital teaching you more, or showing you how we do, we work with our clients, e-commerce and retail clients, and help them with customer retention. Today's agenda will be just introducing you to the company, showing you some of our products and services, showing you some of our segmentation methods, the automation part of our platform, and giving you a real example, client use cases of how we help them in more details. Now, before we start, I just wanted to ask you a quick question. Let me just pull this up here. There we go. Just wanted to ask you if you can see the screen here. as a company, do you think you're in touch with your current client base? Because this is what we focus on. So wanted to get a feel of how you see that or how you work on that. Yes, and not so much. Yes, there is room for improvement. Absolutely, it is a priority for us. Not so much. That's the 60% we have here. Okay, I'm just waiting for more answers. Okay, that's great. That's great. Okay, perfect. That's great. Now going back to the slides, a quick introduction to Related Digital. We are a software provider. We offer an omni-channel marketing automation solution. The key benefit is to enable clients to use all marketing channels at the same time and see all results in one form, in one single platform. In a nutshell, we exist to create intelligent engagement between brands and their audience. We operate in different sectors, as you can see here, finance, technology, tourism, but the main ones we operate in is the e-commerce and retail sector. As you can see here, we work with eBay, IKEA, L'Oreal, and many others. We, I think it's worth mentioning, I think I missed that, we have more than 400 million customers interaction daily, more than 2,000 clients worldwide. But the most important thing, we come with experience. We've been in the market for more than 20 years. Moving on to the products range, as you can see here, those 6 kind of columns, the customer data platform, web targeting, etc. Each one of those columns is a different product we have or a different module. They either can be bought as a full suite, all one go, or it can be purchased or operating in separately. To start with the customer data platform, I will refer to that as CDP from now on. But the CDP integrates, unifies, and consolidates customers' database that come from multiple online and offline channels, coming from different social media, Excel sheets, different websites, and also offline. So when people visit, our customers visit your stores, we collect all this data and have it only in one place, unify it and integrate it into the customer data platform. So the main benefit is really allow marketers to retarget those channels back, like Google, Instagram, SMS, social media separately or all in one go. There are also other benefits to CDP. It helps with avoiding data silos because all customers' data will be in one single platform. Also naturally supports GDPR and other privacy regulations because it can only collect first-party data. So there is another burden that you don't need to think about when it comes to using or thinking of using CDP. Finally, enables marketers to collect customer behavior data and consolidate it into what's called customer profiles. This results in having clean data, which helps marketing teams to select attributes, user behavior, in order to build out a good and strong segment. We have a few segmentation methods, as I mentioned earlier. We'll come to that a little bit later. Second product we have is the web targeting. This is very straightforward. I'm sure you've all heard of it. It helps retail and e-commerce companies and other sectors, obviously, as well, with targeting their audience through web notifications, perhaps maybe regarding a brand top seller product, maybe a complementary product, or simply just to raise awareness of categories that have not been visited before by a customer. The third product is the email marketing. This includes bulk emailing, means sending millions of emails in one go, and it also includes personalized segmented emails, which allows companies to email specific customers regarding, for example, abandoned carts, maybe when they last time visited the website, or maybe new item arrival, or a price drop, or anything else really. Fourthly, we have the product recommendation. This works based on customers' research, maybe views and other data factors. The system suggests to those customers which products are similar or close to what they're looking for. The product recommendation reaches the customers either via email or a web notification. It also can reach the customers via a mobile push. That's part of the mobile marketing, our fifth product. The mobile marketing operators have that feature, but also have other feature, the geofencing services. And this is where if your customers are physically near one of your stores, they receive a notification suggesting to them maybe a store visit, or maybe come and try a new item since you're in the area, etc. And finally, we have the Customer Journey Manager. That's the sixth product. This is another very important module, and a lot of our clients using it. It helps with automate the customer's journey, and that's without much interference from you or the marketers. This process helps, obviously saves a lot of time and cost, and we'll have a real example on that a little later. Finally, we have a few other services included in the cost of when you buy, say, a module or more than one module. There are some included, and some other services are extra considered. So the project management, this is included. This is the support client gets during the implementation period. We have the account management. This is more like a consultancy service. So we have this team meet the clients regularly to discuss the overall marketing overview or marketing strategy, new trends, and marketing scenarios generally, how to approach the market, which channel is the best to approach the market, and when to approach the market. All these things that we discussed with those teams, since they are very expert in those sectors we operate in. And we have a sub team under this team, that's the account executive. So this team basically help execute the strategies, or they support you to execute those strategies on the platform. But if you have no time, they will be doing that on your behalf. So you really don't have to lift a finger to execute the strategies. All you need to do is discuss it with the team, and they do the rest of it on your behalf. The technical support, that's very clear. This is the support you get when you have issues with the platform. And finally, the extra services we have is the HTML and design services. This is to help with obviously designing landing pages, maybe supporting the marketing campaigns, etc. Moving on to the to the next page, we have the segmentation methods. So as I mentioned, we have the behavioral segmentation, demographic, rule-based, and ERFM. Those segment methods work either solely or combined. So let me give you an example, maybe on the combined one. Let's assume we have an anonymous potential customer who is viewing a baby pram and then read an email about the latest female fashion shoes, and then purchased a baby product, maybe a toy for 6 months old, or and then maybe a food, baby food like a puree or something. All this behavior would contribute towards categorizing this potential customer demography as a new mother. And then you'll be reaching out to them accordingly. It's very interesting, and everything will be on the platform. So it's very straightforward on the platform. For the rule-based segmentation method, it is a way to build your own segment by putting together a number of rules. For example, say segment the current client base with the people who made a purchase of maybe 70 or 80 pounds or more. Segment them or resegment them with filtering down to the customers who visited the website in the last maybe 2 weeks or 3 weeks. And also maybe segment them with people who spent more than 10 minutes on the website. Save that segment, and again, reach out to them accordingly. Finally, the RFM segment, I would like to show you how it looks like. I think it will make more sense like this. So the RFM stands for recency, frequency, and monetary. I'm sure a lot of us know that. In this example, you can see how many people in each category at risk or loyal, so you can plan your next move. So we can see in this example, you see high potential, VIP, You can see the facts of each category, the count of those people or customers, revenue, and revenue per visitor as well. The RFM is a global segment. It's usually 8 categories, as you can see here. However, Related Digital is one of the few companies that in the customer retention space that adds the engagement feature to the equation, which results in targeting not only the existing customers, but also potential customers when they visit the website to help with creating more and more accurate segments or audience. So that's very interesting. Moving on to the automation part of it, that's the Customer Journey Manager. That's the 6th product that we mentioned earlier. This tool automates how you want to communicate with your customers. And this is just, this is fully customizable. And as you can see here, this is an example of one of our clients. It's called VisiStore. So they asked us to build an automation tool for them. That is, for example, if you look here, we have a new visitor, whether they came to the store or maybe they registered their information on the website. Once they do that, they receive a welcoming email. Let's assume they didn't read the email, so it went to the X here. If they didn't read the email, automatically the system will send them another a reminder push, whether it's a web notification or SMS, whatever you want it to be. Let's assume they did read the email. We can retarget the new client by sending them maybe a discount offer, or maybe a complimentary product to the first product they purchased when they visit the website. And that's how it works. And once they reach out to that stage where either they purchase the product, that means the cycle is finished, the automated cycle is finished, or if they didn't reach the product, the system will assume that this client or this information is not wrong and give you the option whether to keep it in the system or delete it. So this is just an example on how to do that. And again, this is fully customizable. You don't have to follow this particular example. Moving on to more of our client base. As you can see here, we have the first one, the growth scenario. Again, VisiStore. This is more of a social proof. As you can see here, 25 people viewing this, 35 people are recent purchase, and 45 added it to the cart. This creates more of an urgency for customers to buy, which would be, would help the growth, the sales growth, basically. We have next to it the personal web recommendation. This shows the product customers are interested in, and it's usually very accurate because this is based on historical data. And this is one of our selling points. We keep the historical data, and very few of our competitors do that. We keep those historical data on the platform for about 3 years. So if you think that those recommendations are almost very, very accurate for our clients or the customers. We also have the behavioral pop-ups. Under that, we have this is based on customers' research, and it's similar. It's also similar to the product recommendations. So I'll give you more example on that. And finally, we have the reporting side of it, and this is where the platform provides you with detailed analytics and insight on which marketing channel is more successful than others. So let's assume you have the SMS, web, mobile, email, and social media, and so this will show you which one is more successful. If you take this example in particular, you can see for the email reporting is it can show you the open rate and also click to open rate. Moving on to the next slide, we have stories here on the left-hand side. It's similar to Instagram, but that's this is a view of a website on a mobile. This could be a general stories decided by, say, your marketing team, or maybe a personalized story for each customer, depending on their page views and behavior. We also have the gamification part of it next to it on the top. This for more interaction with the customers and make the experience more fun on the website. And we have the geofencing next to it on the right-hand side. We did discuss that earlier, but that's how it looks like. And finally, we have the birthday pop-ups, and this is where your customers get a web notification when it's their birthday saying happy birthday, or maybe there's a discount for your birthday, or come and enjoy 20 pounds of goods, etc. So that brings me to the final slide of my presentation. So in conclusion, it is very important for any business to choose the right customer retention partner and solution that can help with transforming the omni-channel complexity into a competitive advantage. That would be done through by bringing all data together from all different sources, as we mentioned earlier, adding them all to the CDP, for example, and allowing you to know all that is knowable about your customers and reach out to them accordingly. Because the bottom line, if you do this right, you're aiming to convert your current customers to loyal ones, which according to studies increase revenue by more than 23% over the average customer. That brings me to the end of this presentation. I think I got a few questions here. Let me see. Okay, I've got this question. How can you be confident that the data collected is accurate? That's a good question. So as I mentioned earlier, by gathering first-party data directly from your customers, site visit, customers' behavioral, social media followers, etc., subscribers, obviously, this would be the very best type of data to collect and use, because it comes straight from the audience, straight from the source. You cannot go wrong with it unless they give you wrong information, which the system would automatically get rid of. So that would be the answer to that. Any other questions? I think we are running out of time. We have a couple of more minutes, but I would like to take this opportunity to thank Cameron from AdPeople. We're looking forward to working with you on the new content in future webinars. And please, I would like to also thank the audience for being here with us. It's been great and a great turnout. I'm very happy with it. So I would like to wish you a very good day, and see you in our next webinar hopefully soon. Thank you.